Hi, my name's Jeanne, and I work at the Worcester branch of Wayne County Public Library. Welcome to Tuesday Crafternoon. Today, we're going to make an easy crochet cat face coaster or face scrubby. It's perfect for all you cat lovers and your cat-loving friends. Let's get started. Here's what you'll need to make your cat face coaster or face scrubby. A small amount of yarn. I'm using worsted weight cotton. A size H crochet hook. That makes a cat face coaster or scrubby this size, or you could use an eye hook, and that makes one that's a little bit bigger. You're going to need a pair of scissors, a yarn needle, and a stitch marker. Okay, we're going to start out, and again, I'm using an H hook. We're going to start out with a magic ring. So here's how I make a magic ring. It's really simple. I hold the yarn in my hand like this, and then I place it around these fingers, and I make an X up here at the top, and then I'm just going to insert my crochet hook under here and grab this yarn and then pull it up through, and there's our ring. Now we're going to start this with a chain 2. So we're going to chain 1, chain 2. Now with this pattern, the chain 2 is going to count as a double crochet. So with each round, we're going to start with a chain 2, and just recall that that is going to count as a double crochet. And so that I don't forget, I'm going to place a stitch marker in the top of the chain 2. Now we want 12 stitches in our first round. So our chain 2 counts as the first stitch. We need 11 more. So we're going to do 11 double crochets into the center of our magic ring. So there's 1, 2, I'm going to do a couple more. Okay, if you're following along and crocheting along with me, you're going to want to pause the video right now because to save time, I'm going to proceed to the end of this round. And remember, in your first round, you're going to need 12 double crochets total. So here I am at the end of the round, and I have 12 double crochets. Let's count them. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And remember that our chain 2 counted as a double crochet. So what we need to do, let's turn this over, and we're going to tighten up the center of our magic circle. And we're going to slip stitch into the top of our chain 2 where I placed my stitch marker. So I'm going to take my stitch marker off, and now I'm going to slip stitch into that top of that chain 2 and pull it through, and our circle is complete. So that's round 1. Now we're going to chain 2, 1, 2. I'm going to put my stitch marker at the top of this chain 2 so that I'll remember that that counts as a double crochet. Now what we need to do is make 2 double crochets in each stitch all the way around our round 1. So this is our first double crochet. We're going to make another double crochet into that very same stitch, just like this. So now we have 2 double crochets, and we want to make 2 double crochets in each stitch around. So let's start doing that. We're going to make 2 double crochet in the next stitch. Two in the very next stitch. And you're going to continue around like that and place 2 stitches, 2 double crochets into each stitch. Okay, and again, if you're following along, you're going to want to pause here. I'm going to forward to the end of round 2. Okay, so I'm at the end of my second round, and if you're following along, you should have 24 double crochets in your round 2. So let's count them. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, and 24. Now we want to make a slip stitch into the top of our chain 2. So I'm going to remove my stitch marker and slip stitch into the top of the chain 2 and pull that through. Okay, now we're going to start on round 3. We're going to chain 2. Remember, this counts as a double crochet, so I'm going to stick my stitch marker back into the top of my chain 2 so that I don't forget that that counts as a double crochet. Now for round 3, we're going to make 2 double crochet, or we're going to double crochet into the next stitch. And then we're going to make 2 double crochet in the very next one. There's 1, and there's 2. Okay, let's do this a few more times. So it's 1 double crochet in the next stitch, one double crochet in the very next one, and then 2 double crochet in the next stitch. So you're going to work this round as follows: 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet in the next stitch. So if you're following along, again, you can pause your video right here and let's go to the end of this round. So at the end of round 3, you should have 32 half double crochets. Let's count them. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32. And I ran out of stitch markers, so I stuck a paper clip in the top of this one, and that works great as a stitch marker too. All right, so we're at the end of round 3. So we want to slip stitch into the top of our chain 2. Okay, now we're going to make our ears. So this is where we made our slip stitch. In the very next stitch, we're going to single crochet. So single crochet into the next stitch. And then we're going to make a half double crochet into the next stitch. So wrap your yarn around your hook, insert your needle or your hook into the next stitch, pull up your yarn, wrap your yarn around your hook, and go all through 3 loops. Okay, so that's our half double crochet. Next, we're going to make all in the same stitch. We're going to make 2 double crochet. There's 1. Oops. Let's try that again. This is our second double crochet. Now this is our first ear. And then to make the point, we're going to chain 2. There's 1 and 2. And then we're going to make 2 double crochet into that very same stitch. There's 1 and there's 2. Okay. And then we need to do the exact same thing that we did when we started our ear, except we're going to do it backwards. So in the next stitch, we're going to do a half double crochet. Oops. Let's try that again. Okay. And then we're going to make a single crochet into our next stitch. Okay. So now we're going to finish off this ear. So I'm going to cut my yarn, wrap my yarn around my hook, and then pull that through. And there's our first ear. Now to make the second ear, we're going to skip 2 stitches and reattach our yarn. Now if you want to, you can slip stitch across these 2 stitches and you wouldn't have to reattach your yarn. But if you slip stitch across, it's going to build this area up a little bit, and the ears aren't going to be as pronounced as they are if you reattach the yarn. Okay, so that's our first ear. So to make our second ear, remember we're going to skip 2. I'm going to make a slip stitch in my yarn, insert my hook into the 3rd stitch over, and then I'm going to pull this up through there. And then I'm just going to make a slip stitch to attach this. So in this very same stitch, we're going to want to make a single crochet, the next stitch a double crochet or a half double crochet, Now into the very next stitch, we're going to make 2 double crochets. It's time to make the point of our ear. Chain 2, 1, 2, then 2 more double crochets in that very same stitch. There's 1, there's 2. Okay, and then the next stitch, we're going to make a half double crochet, and then a single crochet, and there's our second ear. And then you just cut your yarn and finish off, and you weave in all your ends on the back and the ones from your ears. So when you're all done, your cat face coaster or face scrubby is going to look like this. And like I said earlier, if you want it to be a little bit larger, you can use an eye hook. So now you have an adorable cat face coaster or face scrubby. Thanks for watching. Please take care. Now I'll see you next time.